Every time we see Miguel in the water, he's just like, it's like pure stoke, high fives, just like having so much fun.
And I'll see him like rip some huge turn. I remember thinking, like, man, I would love to be able to turn like that sometime. And then I kick back. I meet him in the lineup, and he looks at me and goes like, man, this board's like 1/8 of an inch too thick or something like that. He's like, oh, yeah, like I could have made that turn way better or something like that. It's like he's always striving for a little bit more.
Surfing is one of the most thoughtful activities that I've really gotten involved in. It's really fun to think about what waves are doing and how you want to ride them, and then trying to put something underneath your feet that can ride that type of wave in the way that you want to surf. So I think for me, there's so much complexity to that problem you're trying to solve that make it really exciting and like will keep me hooked forever. So I naturally just fell in love with surfing. I think it has to do with my dad being a surfer and growing up in Puerto Rico, then moving to Malibu and surfing his whole life. So once I was a kid, he just threw me on his longboard before I could even swim with floaties. And then once I had my own body and can swim, I really fell in love with it after playing volleyball and football and team sports kind of dying off. I really found my love for surfing with my good friend Christian. He was kind of the guy who really showed me, you know, if you put energy and effort into this, you can get a lot back out of it. The feeling of surfing is super unique. You feel alive, you feel energized, you feel excited, especially when the waves are good. There's just this feeling of reaction, not thinking, and everything is kind of moving at the rhythm of the ocean. So it's just really dynamic and really, really fun. Board design really keeps me excited about surfing as I continue to be a surfer throughout my life. I could ride different types of boards in different types of waves and always find some level of enjoyment. So if the waves are huge, I'm on a big board that's, 7, 8 feet. If the waves are tiny and flatter, I tend to ride smaller boards that are really wide and thick that give me a lot of planing surface to go really fast. And then if the waves are perfect, I have a bunch of asymmetrical boards that are really hyper-focused on surfing really good pockets. Is this a Miguel board or what?
I think it is. I'm surprised you haven't bought this already.
I know.
Franklin's almost a little big for you.
Yeah, it's like a little big.
It's pretty
It'd be a good OB board though for me. Or like head high. I think it's like 2 7/16, maybe 2.5.
Miguel had already been working at a surfboard company and like deep in the surf world on traditional designs versus asymmetrical boards or indie shapers or up and coming kids that were trying to try new things with different lines or different rails or different fins. Unique perspective about trying to match up board, wave, his style, day, and playing around with that endlessly.
I feel like it's crazy that this is one of the only beaches you really have to like plan for that amount of like wiggle room on a board, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I really like this board, but it's like perfect for like 4-foot waves. Then you're like, damn, well, it's not that versatile. So if I paddle out on a day like today, I easily can be outgunned.
Yeah. True.
And it's more about just moving around the lineup than it is like the wave itself, right? Want to surf?
Yeah, let's get out there.
You'll ask any one of my friends what my favorite type of wave is, and they will say lowers or Honolulu Bay or like any wave that's a long right. They just know I love surfing those waves. It's really fun because you have a really long area to surf, so you really get to manufacture what you're gonna do on the wave and think through not just one turn, but a whole sequence of maneuvers to get from the very takeoff spot to the very end of the wave. So it's more of a rhythmic flow rather than just one explosive maneuver. So the Drift Boys are a super fun group of guys that I surf with. They're my best friends in life and in the water. So I love surfing with them and experiencing life with them. We have a lot of memories traveling or surfing right up front. There's Nathan, there's Ben, there's Mike, there's Ian, there's Jeff. And all of us are not only friends in the water, but we're friends on land. And we've seen each other go through a lot of different moments of their lives. and we really just try to lift each other up and be the best versions of ourselves.
The very first time I met Miguel, I was surfing Ocean Beach. It was one of those days where it was heavy, it was big, it was throwing pretty hard, and I was tense. I think everyone around me was tense, and sure enough, up paddles Miguel with a smile on his face, and an unbelievable surfer. He tends to be the best surfer in the lineup most places we go. And so when he paddled up and started chit-chatting with everyone and having fun and encouraging people into waves, it changed everything. All of a sudden, the whole lineup was light, and it went from an individual sport where it was us battling against each other and us battling against the ocean to us all on the same team, building something and creating something beautiful with the ocean.
Mike, you might have had the right call. Yeah. Sight. Ocean Beach definitely changed the way that I surf and the way I approach surfing. Coming from Orange County, the waves are always pretty small, like head high-ish. But up here in wintertime, it's typically double overhead for months. So you're riding a lot bigger equipment. You're having to look at waves a bit differently, and the way that you are going to ride them is going to be very different. So coming up here and learning about currents and surfing bigger boards, holding your breath longer, dealing with the cold, dealing with paddling in the current. So both those waves definitely challenged me to improve my surfing knowledge, my board knowledge, just everything that makes me a surfer. It just really had to make me level up. On a typical weekday, I wake up pretty early, sunrise, and I check the ocean, see what it's doing. I make some coffee and I jump on the phone, talk to my friends, the drift boys, up and down, this stretch of beach and try to find the best wave. From there, we jump in the water for a little bit before our first meetings of the day. I work from home, so it's really nice to be able just to jump on a computer and work with really smart people on complex problems. So that's my typical morning. And then in the afternoon, if the waves are good, I sneak out for a lunch sesh. If not, I eat and then continue working. And then in the evenings, summertime, the days are longer. The waves tend to suck a little bit, but I try to jump out. And then in wintertime, I kind of just am a homebody. Yeah, I think my surfing community is awesome. I think there's good people. They all are positive and trying to do better and better in surfing and are respectful people. I think respect is a huge thing in surfing that you gotta have. I think the vibe is good with them, and that's kind of just my main thing, is making sure I surround myself with respectful surfers that have a good vibe around them.
I think the community we have in the Outer Sunset is really different than a lot of places in the city. It's almost like a small town. You can't really leave your house without seeing someone you know. Pretty much every block. If you go to the supermarket or walk your dog, you're gonna see 10 people you know. But yeah, it's just nice having that.
3 a.m. and I'm just getting started.
It's like, what? Are you kidding me? Nice.
I'm excited. I'm excited everything worked out.
So fun.
Hello, hello.
Hi. When did you guys get in?
Like 1 a.m. last night.
Welcome home.
Welcome back. Home.
How was the surf?
It wasn't bad though. There were waves. People got waves. They
Maybe
stood
we'll
up.
surf again.
One special thing that keeps me here is I think it's just a special combination of ocean, community, culture, food, friends that you just don't get anywhere else in the world.
I just found so much happiness just getting into the cold ocean every day and starting to get to know my neighbors. My neighbors were firefighters and authors, people who share the values of community and contributing and nature and surfing and being active. Yeah, it's really special.
I love surfing with women. I think they bring such a unique energy to the lineup. Most lineups have a ton of dudes in it, so getting into a lineup with a few women, the energy just changes. It becomes a little bit more flowy and vibey and less competitive.
I definitely feel that way also. I feel like whenever there's another woman or multiple other women, it just immediately brings a little bit maybe more joy and less intenseness, and it's always super, super fun.
When I see Miguel paddle out, I'm like, oh shit, it's on. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have fun. I know that some like good surfing is gonna happen, even if the waves are really shitty.
Miguel is very stylish in all the ways, in all of his life. But yeah, definitely surfing, he has a lot of style, not jerky, not, you know, he's just very flowy, has strong, but it's good, solid style. I mean, I love watching him surf.
Like, so personally for me, like, he helps me grow my surfing. And that is just, you know, a connection you can find with any homie out there.
I'm super grateful for surfing because it grounds me. I think there's a lot of things in life that are gonna come and go and just kind of bounce into me and bounce off of me and impact me in certain ways. But surfing is the one thing in my life that I know that I could always go back to or spend time with, and it'll always make me feel grounded and centered as a person. The surf was kind of fun, really busy. I think I was out for maybe an hour and 15, got 2 good waves and 3 or 4 not so good waves. So kind of okay. Not great, but fun.